Good morning, sports fans. It's your boy, Heaven Hollywood Clark. Welcome to the Sports Fanatic and welcome to another installment of Last Night in Sports. This is where we discuss all the major stories, all the major takes and highlights from the four major sporting events. So, without further ado, let's go over what happened last night in sports. We're going to start with, of course, the NBA. That is the hot topic right now. Last night, which was March 6th, it was March 6th on a Wednesday. The Orlando Magic beat the Washington Wizards 119-109. Banchero had 25.6 rebounds and 10 assists as he continues his All-Star season. The Atlanta Hawks beat the Cleveland Cavaliers 112-101. Bogdanovich had 23 and 6 assists. The Grizzlies beat the 76ers. The 76ers are so bad without Embiid. Grizzlies beat the 76ers 115-109. 30 and 11 for Jaren Jackson. The Clippers came from behind I think they were down 22 in a game against the Houston Rockets. They come back to end up winning by 6. Kawhi Leonard scored 28, 6, and 7 as they won 122-116. The Chicago Bulls beat the Utah Jazz 119-117, 29 for DeMar DeRozan. The Golden State Warriors at home destroyed the Milwaukee Bucks 125-90, 29 for Steph Curry. Giannis had 23, 7, and 6 in a losing effort. The Oklahoma City Thunder 128, the Portland Trailblazers 120. Shane Gilgeous-Alexander, what else is new? Another 30-point night. He scored 37 points. And the Kings turned around a 19-point deficit in the first quarter to end up beating the Lakers by 10, and it wasn't even that close. De'Aaron Fox scored 44 points. LeBron James had 31 points and 13 assists. We're going to get to Lakers when we get to Laker talk. But, I got a lot to say about the Lakers. I'm not even going to get into them on Last Night in Sports because, I don't want to blow a gasket. Here it's too early in the morning to blow a gasket. But the Lakers were absolutely pathetic, last night at home to give up 130 points and end up losing by 10, and they really should have lost by 20. But once again, 130-120. Lakers now sit at 34-30, 22-11 at home. And if we check the standings real quick, this is where, the Lakers are standing in the Western Conference. First of all, in the Eastern Conference, of course, the Celtics are the number one seed. They lead Milwaukee Bucks by 8 games. Cleveland is third seed, and the Magic is fourth seed. The Knicks, Heat are all in the playoff spots. And, of course, 7, 8, 9, 10, 76ers, Pacers, Bulls, and Hawks. The Western Conference, the T-Wolves are still in first place. They are tied with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Denver Nuggets are now in the third seed, 1 game back. The Clippers are fourth seed, 2.5 games back. The Pelicans on the fifth seed, the Phoenix Suns in the sixth seed. And then 7 through 10, Kings, Mavericks, Golden State Warriors, and the Los Angeles Lakers sitting at 34-30 in the 10th seed. I'm sorry, that's unacceptable. We're going to go over what is going on in Lakerland. We're going to go over that, in our segment of Laker Talk. So here's the deal. We now are 61 games in for most of the teams. You're looking at about 20 to 22 games left in this season. 20 to 22. That's it. So teams that are going to start going the other way, man, if they're going to start going the other way now, this is the wrong time to do that because we are now getting into the nitty gritty. Top headlines: Wemby will not play against the Kings. Bayambo, he's okay. Remember, he had collapsed on the sidelines the other night. He is okay after appearing to collapse on the sideline. For the Cavs, Mobley's going to be out at least a week. Man, they don't need no more injuries. Donovan Mitchell's is not playing right now. Mobley's out at least a week with an ankle sprain. For the T-Wolves, Cat Towns are going to sit out Thursday versus the Pacers. Raptors center Podol, he's out indefinitely with a finger. I mean, this is nuts. There's not so many injuries, especially coming off a year where everyone was low managing, and this year, I guess because there was a rule about low managing, and they're going to be watching more closely, and you have to play at least 65 games to win the MVP. A lot of the players are going to try to blame, the injuries on that, right? Is going to try to blame injury. People end up getting injured because they're trying to appease the league, and guys are trying to play when they're hurt. Anyway, the power rankings are in, and right now the Boston Celtics, of course, as I said, they lead the entire NBA. They have the best record in the league, right? In the West, Minnesota, Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Denver Nuggets, all within a half game of each other. So right now, power rankings: Boston Celtics are 1, Denver Nuggets are 2, the Milwaukee Bucks are 3, Minnesota Timberwolves are 4, Oklahoma City Thunder 5, Clippers 6, Cavs 7, Pelicans 8, Knicks 9, and the Miami Heat round out the top 10 on the power rankings. And last night in sports and the NFL, with free agency coming up, sources say that the Broncos are okay to let Russell Wilson, soon to be released Russell Wilson, to talk to other teams. They have a lot of respect for Russell Wilson. He's a future Hall of Famer. And they just want to give him a chance to talk to other teams before his release. I swear, I want the Steelers are my team. I want the Steelers to pick Russell Wilson up. I think it'd be great to have him there. I do not believe in Kenny Pickett. I hope that they would take a chance on Russell Wilson. Mitchell Trubisky, the backup to Kenny Pickett, he's going back to the Bills as Josh Allen's backup. So Mitchell Trubisky's on his way back to the Bills. Zach Ertz signed a 1-year deal with the Washington Commanders. The Seattle Seahawks cut three-time Pro Bowler Jamal Adams. They also released Quandre Diggs and Will Dissly. So those are 3 players that, teams should be interested in. Adams is a 3-time Pro Bowl selection. He was set to make a non-guaranteed $16.5 million in 2024 and account $26.9 million against the salary cap. It's unattainable amounts for a player who has been unable to stay on the field or get to the quarterback since his stellar Seattle debut in 2020. So, also by releasing Diggs, the Seahawks free up $11 million in cap space and take on $10.26 million in dead money. All right. And while Disley's release clears $7 million and creates $3.1 million in dead money. So Seattle's pretty much just dumping salary right now. And then if there's some teams out there that want to take a chance on some of these guys, you can be getting some pretty good players, off of free agency. Also, last night in sports, they released 2024 NFL free agency. They ranked the top 100 available players, and they released it yesterday. Of course, number 1 on the top available players is the Kansas City Chiefs' Chris Jones. He had 10.5 sacks last season, displayed a lot of versatility to line off the edge, where his pass rush Win rate jumped from 19.6% to 22.1%. He's an 8-year veteran. He's still a wrecking talent on defense. He's a disruptor. Has 75.5 sacks and 12 fumbles to 26 pass breakups over his career. And he should now get a big contract after returning to the Chiefs in 2023 on a 1-year deal. So we're going to see, will the Chiefs re-sign Chris Jones? If not, who's going to grab Chris Jones? He's a difference maker. And I want to see how the Chiefs are able to make it without Chris Jones. Kirk Cousins is number 2 on the list. Christian Wilkins from the Miami Dolphins is number 3. Daniel Hunter from Minnesota, he's an edge. He's number 4. Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think they're going to be signing him. He's a 5. Robert Hunt, guard from the Miami Dolphins, a 6. Chase Young, an edge. San Francisco hitched their wagon. They thought getting Chase Young was going to help secure that Super Bowl victory. They got to the Super Bowl. Interesting to see what they do with him next year. Leonard Williams, Detroit, the defensive tackle from the Seattle Seahawks. Bryce Huff, edge rusher from the New York Jets. Kendall Fuller is 10th. He's from Washington Commanders. Then you got Tyron Smith, Jonathan Greenwood, Jonah Jackson, Calvin Ridley, wide receiver for Jacksonville, and Kevin Dotson rounds up the top 15 players. It's a very crowded free agency coming up this year, and I'm here for it. The Steelers better jump in there. I know it's still a tradition to not really go after big name free agencies. Screw that. We need to get back to the Super Bowl, and what you do in free agency plays a big part in that. So I want you guys to let me know down in the comments what you feel about the news that we discussed today, that we heard last night in sports. Let me know your power rankings. Give me your power rankings down below. And let me know what you think of the news of Russell Wilson getting released. Anything that we discussed that we heard last night in sports, leave it down in the comments and we will touch base in there. It's your boy, Heaven Hollywood Clark. Thank you. This was another edition of the Sports Fanatic, Last Night in Sports. Take care.